I hope you guys enjoyed that video of me photographing a sunrise down at North Kira Beach. It's definitely very peaceful this time of the year during winter, and I very much enjoyed the peacefulness to it and just get into the groove of shooting. I thought I would jump in now and talk a bit more about the photos and explain a bit more about my thought processes behind them as well. It's definitely a bit of a rarity these days for me to shoot primarily on 35mm. I actually had run out of my medium format rolls, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get stuck into some 35mm. I ended up enjoying the rhythm of shooting a bit faster that morning, especially because the light was changing so quickly, and also I was shooting video on my mirrorless camera, so it was quite easy to change from the two cameras, given 35mm is probably a little bit faster of a process than medium format. I did end up taking a few shots with my Mamiya RZ67 during the beginning of the morning, and I really liked how these came out. I think blue owl was in full force at this period of time, and the pink hues in the sky were pretty incredible. Also, I was using a pro mist filter, so you got this really nice dreamy kind of feel to them, especially with that soft morning light. So I really enjoyed how these came out. The sunlight was definitely struggling a little bit to sneak through the clouds that morning, but when it finally did make it through, I headed down to the beach to take a few shots of the rock formations as well. Having all these different textures about, like the rock formations and the sand, the beach, you've got the buildings, you've got the trees, you've got a lot of different things going on there. So it's kind of what draws me towards shooting at North Kira compared to other places on the coast, because you have so many different textures going on, especially because I've shot here a few times. I'm able to gauge some different perspectives and kind of switch things up quite a lot to keep things interesting and not shoot the same kind of style each time. So really enjoy that part of this beach. This particular shot definitely caught my eye. I like how you had the choppiness to the ocean at the back, and then the water in front of me in the foreground was super still, and then you had this reflection of the cloud formations above, which made for a super interesting interesting perspective. Like I said, I've shot this beach a few times, so I'm always trying to look for different perspectives and different vantage points to shoot at, which led me to going back up to the kind of lookout top of the beach, looking down on the waterfront there. And this is when I captured this shot of the guy running between the rocks. I really like that element, and I think because I've been shooting quite a lot of street photography and kind of suburbia, I'm trying to get different kind of elements of that into my kind of adventure landscape photography as well. Also, when I'm looking at photos these days, I'm really paying attention to the subtleties within the image, and something like that tells me that there's a bit more of a story behind it, and yeah, adds a bit of depth to the image as well, I think. Later in the morning, as the sun starts to get higher in the sky, I made my way over to Coolangatta Beach, which is just on the other side of the pier. I was actually quite confused when I got over there because there was all these like tire marks running through the whole beach, but it actually made for some very aesthetically pleasing photos because I kind of used those lines as leading lines to connect you to kind of like the buildings at the back, and use them in some creative ways and try to get low to the ground to add them in as a different element, which was quite interesting. I was shooting with Portra 400 at the beginning of the day, and then I moved over to shooting with Kodak Gold. It's probably one of my favorite cheaper kind of film stocks that I use. I did find though, combined with the kind of golden hour of the sunrise and it being Kodak Gold, it did produce these very kind of warm tones, which is expected obviously with Kodak Gold, and I found myself correcting them to be a little bit on the cooler side. The last photos of the day I ended up enjoying quite a bit, especially this one of the winding road. I paid attention to make sure I got the foreground, add another textural element in there, combined with the S-curve you could see and the other layers to the photo. I think it turned out pretty well. It was definitely a great experience just being out there in the morning, super peaceful with not too many people around, and yeah, just a great way to start my day. And yeah, I normally seem to focus more on shooting sunset, so it was a nice change of pace, and it was nice that as you got later in the day, the sun got brighter and you had some more photo opportunities rather than kind of chasing light and yeah, worried about it going down too quickly. So yeah, super interesting. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. It was super fun to make. I think I came out with some images I really enjoyed. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.